Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, welcome. That's me. So who am I? First and foremost, I'm a mom of twin 13-year-old identical twin boys. Usually I get a round of applause, yeah. That itself is an accomplishment. I've been in the industry for 28 years, 14 years at Crestron, 14 years at Sapphire, and I'm hoping for 14 years at Planar. My boss, where's my boss? Okay. So I've been blessed to work with like some of the top leaders in the industry and the top rep firms. So, welcome to our showroom. This is a beautiful place. If you build it, they will come, which is what happens every day. We have multiple people who visit this place. We have a representation of pretty much any planar product from a LED perspective, 5-pitch LED 0.9 to a larger pitch LED, our LCDs in the back. We have some transparent OLEDs, which are really hot, touch sensitive LED as well. So we invite you to bring clients, yourself back, friends, relatives, dogs, and visit our space when you have more time. So I'm talking about digital signage and how it adds to the workplace. And a lot of the things that were said in the first two sessions, you will hear some repeat in this session. But from a signage standpoint, your goal should have all your visual communication tied into your entire ecosystem. So you have all these displays in your conference rooms. Why can't that also be tied into digital signage? So my one statement is, would you want an emergency notification alert to only show up on some of your displays? Your displays in your conference rooms, which we'll touch on, should have the same digital signage messaging going throughout. So having people come to our showroom to see all the beautiful digital displays that we have here, we ask them, like, what are you looking for? And these are the three areas in the workplace that they're usually looking for our stuff: wayfinding, common spaces, and inside the conference room. So for wayfinding, let's touch on that. I found this statement to be so scary. 4 in 10 office workers spend as much as 60 minutes every week searching for desks, conference rooms, or colleagues. So I threw some rough numbers out. I don't make $2,800 a week. I was basing that on Chick-fil-A. That's what the... Don't laugh. Obviously, we didn't have enough donuts. So a worker makes $2,800 a week, $560 per day, $70 per hour, assuming an 8-hour day, because all of us only work 8 hours, or the Gen Zs, we only work 4 days a week. 100 employees at $70 an hour, $7,000 in lost time per week, $364,000 a year in lost revenue, which ironically is the approximate price of 4 of these video walls. It's for all the end users here, so you can afford this. So, right, the dog's like, I'm out of here. So let's break down the benefits of wayfinding. Items 1, 2, 4, and 5 can actually kind of be combined. If you don't know where to go in your workspace, you're going to have employees that are walking around confused, and that's going to foster decision fatigue. So if you give the employees and your visitors a positive experience within your organization, a wayfinding kiosk where they can easily find out, where's my conference room, where's Joe, my favorite employee, where's HR, where's my wellness room, then they will have one less thing to worry about and keep their energy level and their productivity up. Item 3, employee independence. I'm a new employee. This is a small room, it's not a corporation, but if I was in a corporation, I'm a new employee, I don't really want to stop somebody and say, hey, how do I get to the restroom? Or where's the cafeteria? If I have an easy digital way of looking into, the corporate workspace, then I would feel like I was included into that company. I'd feel a little bit more of a culture of inclusivity. And speaking of inclusivity, that brings me to number 6, less verbal interaction, which is a really strange one, but We preach collaboration all the time, and some people just don't want to talk to other people. They don't want that much interaction. Wayfinding gives them a way of looking into the company without having to ask people questions. It's a culture of neurodiversity. So you have companies that are actually trying to attract people who are neurodiverse, and they think differently than us, they interact with people differently than us, and wayfinding digital signage gives them a way of communicating in their own safety zones. So, now, I have a case study. Daimler did a great job as far as wayfinding. They were trying to take a bunch of different buildings and blend workers together, and so people weren't familiar with the building. So they put a kiosk at the reception desk, a touch-sensitive kiosk that allowed them to have visibility into the different floors, find employees, and also on each of the floors they had planar kiosks where you can easily go and find where you need to be. But displays are really only one way of the digital signage experience and the wayfinding experience. It's also the software experience, so we're going to touch on that in a little bit. I have HyperSign here with me to talk about what they see as trends in wayfinding from a software perspective. But from a display technology, you want to keep in mind and ask certain questions. Do I want my wayfinding kiosk to be in portrait or landscape mode? Some displays do not go in both. What's the durability? Do I have a touch-sensitive LED? If I'm planning on doing touch LED in a lobby space, there's going to be wear and tear on the LED. Do I want it to have a bond and resin on it? The size of the screen. Bigger is better when it comes to a display manufacturer selling stuff, so bigger is better. But you really need to see if you're going to mount a LED display, can your wall handle that structure? Budget. Do I have the budget for an LED wall? Do I have the budget for an LCD video wall? Or do I just have a touch-sensitive monitor? And then 24/7 versus 16:8. If I'm going to use this as constant signage, do I want that display on all the time? The trend is people want to go the cheapest, best route. I can go to ShopRite and I can buy a 4K monitor for like $1.75. So toilet paper, so there's Amazon people. I get toilet paper and a display. I mean, that's crazy, but do you really want that in your workforce? From a software perspective, what do you see as wayfinding trends?
Yeah, so I'm Corey Brandon with HyperSign, so thank you, Lainie, for having us. So from the software side, obviously, everyone's wanting to do more and more and more with the display. So you have these wonderful gray displays or touch LED walls and things like that. So it's not just getting where you want to go within the facility, it's also what additional information can you tie into that. So we have a creative team that's actually in-house as well that can kind of help map that out. So even on one of these displays, our creative team actually kind of designed that build so you can touch and learn more information about each of the products in the room. Or maybe you want to know the basic information of what's going on at that time. So we have the ability to actually break up the display to showcase your basic digital signage at the top and then kind of have your wayfinding at the bottom so you can still get those employee announcements out as you need. Another thing that is really key to keep in mind is ADA compliance, especially whenever you're talking about touch interactivities. So it's building the content and deciding what displays and things that you need. We always do try to make sure that we keep that in mind because that's going to be a big thing, especially in your larger corporate and venue-based environments. Awesome.
So let's go to the next space, common space signage. So I found this really interesting. 87% of employees worldwide aren't engaged in the workplace, and 80% of executives rate employee experience as important. This is based on a Gallup workplace poll. So how do you increase employees being more interactive in your office space or your corporate signage? And I think workplace experience or employee experience, EX, is a blanket term, but I think technology will play a really important part in that. How do you get these Gen Zs to interact with the signage in your corporate branding. And there has to be more of a focused shift of employers trying to figure out what will get to increase employee experience in the workplace. And I think our technology, our AV, can really help there. So let's go through some of the signage benefits. So item one, let's boost morale, right? So I'm a Gen Z, I want to be recognized. I'm a Gen X, I want to be recognized. HR can actually take some real estate and build content in those digital display devices and our digital displays in the common spaces and say, hey, you know, Joe, he just ran a marathon this weekend, came in 100th out of like 2,000 people. Yay, say hi to Joe, right? Boost his morale. Or somebody Tani just got a promotion to senior director, which is actually true. It didn't go on any of our displays, but yay, Tani. So that's a way that your common space digital signage can help, and that's HR can play a factor in that. And it doesn't have to be constant HR content. It could be HR coupled with marketing, coupled with whatever else you want. Supports company branding initiatives. One of the Gen Z said something really interesting about building brand ambassadors. The first impressions a person makes in a company is in 7 seconds. 7 seconds. So when I walk into a company, my impression has started already. So if I'm going in and I can't find in my lobby where do I need to go, my impression is already one of, wow, this is not only a technology-driven company, and it may make me feel anxious. So I've already set my tone to be not a positive experience. So if you have digital displays that have the corporate branding, whether it's, you know, what's the new merger and acquisition, what's my company motto, what's the newest package that we're selling, then, or where are you going in the building, you're not branding yourself well. Item 3, safety and training. Emergency messaging. It's the world we live in now. Your ecosystem, your signage ecosystem needs to all play together and play well and be consistently scalable throughout the building. And nowadays, you have to dynamically be able to switch every display to see if is there an active shooting? Is there something going on in the news that you need to see? It should be on your room signage, it should be in your common space, it should be inside your conference room, it should maybe even be on your touch panels. Item 4, we have multiple generations working in our offices and you have to appeal to all of them. Some people may want to push their own content into the displays. So you may have people who are very passive and just want to be an onlooker. And I think to attract these Gen Z workers or the younger generation of workers, you need to be able to have them be active contributors to your signage or passive contributors to your signage. So maybe you want to take some polls. Like, how's the company doing? What do you like about this new initiative that we just launched out? And let them have an active digital voting. So this way they feel like they're part of an inclusive company. And that was one of the big important parts of how you retain the Gen Z, make them feel diverse, and it's a culture of diversity and inclusivity. And it increased corporate transparency. It's interesting how I read about all the social media that companies make, and they're always pushing out their brand to the social media, but they're not doing any internal brand pushing as well. And I think that's one way digital signage can help. So why not make those signs have news that the employee is going to be looking for on their app? So it's 4 o'clock and I'm really stressed out and I have to make the subway. Did something happen on the subway? Put the bus schedule up. Make it easy for people to say, oh wow, at 5:30 I can't take the 1 train. Well, I was laughing because I just started taking the subway and she's like, wow, she said the 1 train. But I mean, make their life easier. So there's time, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, maybe there's a hot new menu in the cafeteria. Change the signage to include the menu. Maybe there's a visitor coming in. Maybe it's Black History Month. whatever it is that it can make the life experience of the employee, make it easier, make it corporate transparency. Also, is your company doing well? Put it out there. They reference Glassdoor. Glassdoor is a very interesting app. So if you haven't, how many people know Glassdoor? Okay. There's some positive stuff on Glassdoor and there's some negative stuff on Glassdoor. If you read all that negative stuff, you might have these Gen Z guys saying, oh my God, this company really isn't that great. Maybe address it in a soft way through your digital signage. So from a common space signage and from software, are you seeing any trends? Like, are people asking for some analytics coming out of the common space? Like, how much time has somebody stared at my screen to ingest some like corporate branding?
Yeah, so especially in more of your lobby space areas, they definitely want to see how people are actually interacting and the time that they're spent on certain pages that they're actually navigating to. In regards to especially your lobby signage, I know it's great. Every time we have customers even come into our own offices, we throw a welcome announcement, pull some pictures from Google, even a YouTube video, and it just kind of lets them feel welcome and kind of enhances their experience. And they, they're more apt to actually talk to you and kind of let their guard down a little bit if you just kind of really are able to customize that experience, even for job interviews and things like that. Some other use cases, especially in regards to the office transparency, we have an application that can tie into business intelligence dashboards. So in every one of your office suites, if you need to tie into your different systems and at any time just kind of look up and see how your business is doing, you can definitely have the ability to do that. We have room scheduling applications, so outside your smaller conference rooms, you can tie into those LED lights, and so if the room's available, it'll flash up green. If it's in use, it'll be red, and also have the scheduling of events. So, and then of course, like going back to the key thing with everything, having the ability to react to an emergency alert. So we actually have 3 different ways that we can trigger emergency messaging. So it can actually be tied into a fire alarm system or a contact closure. You can trigger it from an Android device, or you can even tie into a CAT feed. So any common alerting protocol feed or whatnot, and it can react accordingly. But then back to your regular signage, we actually had a customer where they wanted us to do an interactive build to where they can actually input and email the HR policies directly from there, so they feel comfortable. They're not at their desk all the time, and so they wanted the ability to do so. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do with content design and things like that to be able to make sure that you're reaching out to each one of their employees, making them feel welcome, making sure they're seeing all that relevant information, whether it's tying into live television feeds or even your traffic and weather. At the end of the day, a lot of our customers have that switch to go over to, so they know the best routes to go home. So there's just, the content perspective is limitless, and as long as you have a good software behind it to kind of drive it, potential's out there.
The content is king. So one thing I didn't say about content for your common space signage is that you can't have it static. You have to refresh that. If you don't refresh it, it's just going to be like you're having a paper poster there. No one's going to look at it anymore. And you just spent a lot of money to have this out there to look at content that's not doing anything or resonating. So going back to Daimler, which did an incredible job. My images didn't do such an incredible job, but that display on the top shows the bus schedule. So it's right at the exit area where they can just say, oh wow, the bus schedule, I'm not going to be able to make that bus. I mean, what's the next bus that I can get? It takes a little bit of the anxiety of a person having to race home. So giving them a better feeling that the corporation really cares about me and they're concerned about me getting back to my family. And then corporate branding, you have all these great displays. They have a beautiful video wall right by their elevators. You're waiting for the elevator, maybe like a half an hour for our elevator. If there was an LED wall, I could tell you everything about every single person in this building because it's such a long elevator wait. But you're building mini brand ambassadors. You sit there and you passively look at these displays, but you're retaining the knowledge. So those people, your employees, are preaching what they're seeing on your digital board. So Things to consider from a display perspective. Again, it's going to be repetitive, but durability, ambient light. Worst case is taking a display and putting it in a lighting condition that doesn't work. If it's not bright enough, you can't see the content in it. Again, 24/7 versus 16:8. Doesn't have a media player built into it. Bonus, an op slot. You're using Crestron's DMMBX. You can put their D80 in it. I have plenty of ex-Crestron product. Wall floor mounts. How are you mounting it? And ADA compliance based on what we said. So last, it brings us to inside the conference room. And so, what's this trend with all these glass enclosed conference rooms? According to economics of biophilia, which I didn't even know what that was until I had to look it up, providing access to natural daylighting, outdoor views, and natural ventilation can reduce eye strain, relieve mental fatigue, and return workers' attention. You know what that means? It means increased productivity. And people don't want to be boxed up anymore. They want to see natural light. They want to feel like they're part of the world outside. It's, dark and cramped. I love that I have a window. I look outside. I can hear all the noise. I can see what the weather is. It makes me attached to the outside world, and I feel like I'm part of that world and part of my work world. So let's talk about why use the signage in that room to brand and do things. So increased meeting room efficiency and space optimization. That can actually be kind of combined. So if I'm an employer and I'm walking past a glass enclosed room and that display is black, I really don't know what's going on in that room unless there's a room scheduler outside. Or maybe I'm all the way down the room and I look down and I say, oh wow, that room's available without even looking at the room scheduler. Or maybe it has the availability of the room and it has some corporate branding messaging going on. So again, you're building a subliminal brand awareness to your corporation, and you're also allowing the worker to say, hey, I know I can go into that room and connect in. Also, increased meeting room efficiency. There's these huddle rooms, might have wireless sharing, it might just have a hardwire connection. You can even put instructions on what is in that room and how to connect into it. So making it easier to start that meeting. Or how about using one of our touch-sensitive displays and just hitting press to start. So again, I'm really harping on emergency notification, but you've made an investment in display, tie it into that digital signage ecosystem, push out emergency notifications, let people know that there's a problem. Visual learners. 65% of your employees are visual learners. So how would you know if they're a visual learner? It's the people who are running up to use the whiteboarding app. The people who are not running up to use the whiteboarding app, not visual learners. It's really that simple. So make that display, start the meeting, or have them have some corporate signage like, here, press here to start, or have an interactive, maybe voting. Maybe you can do some voting, digital voting, but make it engaging so an employee walks into the room, they have an ad hoc meeting, they say, hey, wow, HR wants an ad hoc survey, let me try to do this really quick, or maybe you're trying to appeal to the app-based generation and have some quick launches of different apps that you need to use to work. Boost employee engagement. Again, it kind of goes back to have HR statements put in there, like, hey, it's Joe's birthday, Joe's 63, or Joe's going to retire, or Joe ran the marathon, or Joe's been really busy. So you can have people feel like they're connected to their coworkers. I think that's really important. And then the final part, economical. You made the investment in displays. Why have it be black? Put some signage on it. So I'm going to let Hypersign talk about how inside the conference room United Airlines utilize their displays for signage.
Yeah, so this was kind of a fun project. So basically, we listened to exactly kind of what the customers were needing, and we built a solution called Huddle Up. So it actually incorporates the digital signage. So literally, you can go in the bottom right-hand corner of the display, press a button, go between your digital signage, your interactive whiteboarding applications, It can tie into your live television feed. So if you're just getting ready for a meeting or just working out that conference space and you need to see what's going on in the news, you can definitely do that. It incorporates, obviously, the key thing, the video conferencing. So right now it does work with the Zoom. I think I saw Zoom here. So we're excited about that. We are looking to incorporate some of the other meeting room technologies there. But also in that regard, they wanted to be able to kind of spread it across. So this is another partner that kind of has that in regards to some of their ADA compliance, utilizing the Yamaha soundbar and the Headley IT camera that actually reframes, kind of based as someone walks into the specific space. So incorporating all those technologies together into this single display was kind of our ultimate goal. And I think that we've kind of done a good job at that now. And again, the key thing is with that emergency messaging. So you can have all these great displays throughout your facility, but if you're in a conference room kind of heads down in a closed space meeting and you don't really know what's going on and something were to happen, that those displays react automatically.
Again, some of the technology from a display perspective, durability, ambient light conditions. Ambient light, you might want to have them be brighter LCD displays if you have a glass enclosed and you're facing the windows, or you have high brightness, 24/7 versus 16:8. I keep saying that, but if you put the wrong display in the room and you're putting signage up all day, it's not going to be good. Right? Wall, floor mounts, can your wall support it? Are you floor mounting the displays? And then the ADA compliance. You know, we have thin, ultra thin LCD displays that you can mount to the wall that are ADA compliant. Do you need to put a credenza, etc.? And that concludes digital signage. Do you have any questions, anyone? Hypersonic. For the showroom perspective, if you have time afterwards, there's a bunch of Planar employees here. We'd love to tour you around, show you what we have. If you have any questions regarding any displays, we'll be here to answer them. We have T1V in the back, waiting patiently for people to show up, just in case if anyone wants to ask them questions. But thank you very much for your time. Thank you, IMCCA, for allowing us.